The funding for this video is provided by the amazing members of my Patreon. Also contributions from viewers like you. Thank you. Yeah, I started from PBS Kids. What you gonna do? Fight me? Anyway, roll the video. If you are familiar with the cartoon community in the 2010s, you know before the pandemic hit, there were two types of videos creators made often that got a lot of fucking views. And I mean a lot. The first being videos about Teen Titans Go. Teen Titans Go is simply just another version of the Teen Titans story that DC has been telling over and over and over in different ways since the 70s, with their first appearance being in the 1960s. People who grew up in the 2000s are most familiar with the series that ran from 2003 to 2006 on Cartoon Network. Do I think the show is good? Yes. It was one of my first shows I ever obsessed over, and I've seen it way too many times. But is it perfect? Absolutely not. Personally, I can't stand the last episode of Teen Titans. It's sad for no damn reason, and it just left me feeling confused about everything. Then again, part of me feeling this way is my fault because I, along with so many other people, held the show up on a pedestal. So much of the hate for Teen Titans Go stemmed from the fact that people weren't happy with the way Teen Titans ended and they wanted the story to go on and become complete. Along with how so many people worship the series it took after. For a while, the dislike for Teen Titans Go was genuine. Kinda. But more time passed, these types of videos were being made because it was trending. Videos of people expressing how much they hate Teen Titans Go was the popular thing to do. And now we have entered a period of where Teen Titans Go is no longer widely hated because fans have put their hurt for the original series ending to the side and enjoy Teen Titans Go for what it is. A silly show that focuses on what superheroes do when they're not fighting crime. With the original Fairly OddParents, that did not happen, as people still strongly dislike what happened with the show once Colleen and Wanda decided to have their own child, and so much about the series changed after that to the point where the show isn't watchable. The new media, well, more like person that has taken the spot is Colleen Hoover and her books. Why? What is it about this woman and her works that get people so upset? Hey y'all, it's Ariana and I'm back with another video. Hi, hello, how are you doing? My name is Ariana. Welcome back to The Pirate Ship, also known as Harriet's Pirate Ship. I am the captain. You are not my first mate. I'm not the first mate because you want to know why. Bring your ear closer to the speaker so you can hear me clearly. Nobody's worthy of being the first mate. Hi, hello, how are you doing? My name is Ariana and I like to make content based on nostalgia and family and children's entertainment and all the issues that I find within those spaces. Now today, we are going to be chit-chatting as I finish my makeup. This actually was supposed to be finished in my last video, but that topic ended up getting concluded quicker than I thought. So yeah, we're gonna finish this up. I need to fix this eyeshadow kinda because it's kind of not, it's like really messy right now, but that has a lot to do with just me chit-chatting and doing all of that. Mind y'all, I'm not the best experience with makeup, but we are going to be talking about the Fairly OddParents, Colleen Hoover, and the monetization of hate. This is just something that has been on my mind for a hot minute. So we are going to be discussing both of those things as I get ready. I act like I'm getting ready to go to the club because it's club hours right now. It's midnight, but I ain't going to the club. Like, I just got paid and everything and I'm still not going out. I'm staying in. I don't know. I just want to stay in and draw. I went to the club last weekend. I'm tired. Now let's go ahead and begin. I don't have nothing to plug in this time, but we're going to be talking about the original Fairly OddParents and where so much of the hatred for the series ended up coming from. While a lot of it was valid criticisms, some people just kind of took it overboard. But one of the first points I wanted to bring up is its creator. Creator of the Fairly OddParents, his name is Bush Hartman. And so many people got beef with him. Like, it makes no sense how, like, so many people, like, in this cartoon community, they have beef with the work that he makes. it's like genuinely like kind of concerning. But a lot of people just genuinely don't like him because he can be very ignorant on things, but also a lot of like his religious views rub people the wrong way just as well. A lot of people are just genuinely not that big of a fan of this guy. So that is like the first reason why a lot of people have a lot of issues with the Fairly Odd Parents is creator. The second problem that a lot of people had was poof. A lot of people, when people talk about like when did the Fairly Odd Parents start to die, like I like to watch this series of videos where they're like the day so-and-so died, like the day which show died. Because I made some videos in the past talking about when Para Kings died and where Kicking It died. A lot of people like to say that the Fairly Odd Parents died during like the Fairly Odd Baby special, which I do not like. That special did not age well. I do not like it no more. I don't think I even liked it when I was younger, now that I think about it. But when Poof was brought into the picture, you can tell that the main, usually when TV shows end up bringing new characters in, it's usually like their way of trying to create a new story to tell because they feel as though they can't do anything with the characters that they already have. I'd say one show that a lot of people are familiar with that does this is Stranger Things, but also Jujutsu Kaisen does this because after the Shibuya incident, we end up getting so many people because everyone died in the Shibuya incident. Okay, y'all, I don't know where my brush went because we're going to try to clean up this foundation right here. We're going to try to fix this around the eyes. It's just kind of messy. Not kind of messy. It's very messy at the moment. But they end up adding like poof to the show. And a lot of people were like, okay, the show still kind of has some heart to it because it was very nice to see that Timmy finally have a sibling because we know Timmy was an only child for like pretty much the entirety of the show's run. And that's part of the reason why he was so lonely in the first place because his parents were always gone and he had no siblings. So it was nice to see like Timmy go on adventures with like his family because at this point of the series we weren't necessarily seeing his friends much, which is another problem that a lot of people have with the series. The show got rid of Timmy's friends. Now, I actually remember Butch Hartman was talking about why Chester and AJ were no longer in the picture. By the way, you don't know who Chester and AJ are? They are Timmy's best friends. I'm pretty sure you're watching this video, you're familiar with the Fairly Odd Parents. But then again, I gotta remember, not everybody watched the same stuff as me growing up. For the most part, I like Chester and AJ's characters. They weren't like carbon copies of each other. All three of like Timmy's main friend group with the two other people. Didn't nobody care about the kid with the boil. I forgot his name. I always call him the Boyle kid. But like Chester and AJ, it was actually nice to see Timmy like take his friends like on adventures with him. And they would be so confused. They were like, how is Timmy able to afford this? How is Timmy able to do this and that and the third? Like it was just like a funny running gag that they just didn't understand how Timmy had so much stuff because they had been to Timmy's house. That family was just middle class. It didn't make no sense how they was super wealthy. And I'd say like AJ's parents were a bit wealthy too. But they were just like not understanding how Timmy was able to have so much stuff, but it was genuinely funny. I really did like the interactions that he had with them, but Butch Hartman said that he felt as though Chester and AJ no longer served the purpose in the show and they did what they needed to do. So I'm like, okay, like it just got to the point where they phased out Chester and AJ and then they started putting in more and more Poof. It's kind of like Poof was like replacing Chester and AJ too. I didn't like that. So the next thing, a lot of people like what went wrong with the Fairly Odd Parents that people have issues with, Mr. and Mrs. Turner. I actually made an entire video about that, so I'm not going to spend too much time on this section right here. Mr. and Mr. Turner became unbearable. That's literally the way I put it. They're just like actually annoying. They're annoying as hell now. Pretty much everyone in the Fairly Odd Parents is irritating. Like that's just the purpose of this show. Everyone's annoying. Everyone's screaming. This is like watching Dexter's Laboratory. I genuinely can't binge the show because everyone just becomes annoying and unbearable to a certain extent. The dog. The dog is where a lot of people really stop watching because a lot of people really just tolerated Poof, but a lot of people actually genuinely just hate the dog. I'm not even gonna lie. I don't like the dog either. Like I hated him. Like when they have brought the dog into the series, I just was not the biggest fan. Y'all, this mascara is clumpy. Y'all, this gotta be the most, what kind of makeup tutorial is this? I hope none of y'all are following this. But I'd say like with the introduction of Sparky the dog in the show, the Fairly Odd Parents ended up getting odder than it already was. Like the show was already odd from the beginning. But it started to get like kind of creepy. It was low-key give him like Coraline vibes, because it was getting to the point where it was just like Timmy has an entire family now outside of his main one because his parents are just so neglectful. And it's like in order to keep the series going, they just end up finding ways to make Mr. and Mrs. Turner worse and worse. Okay, next, what you're about to see me do, we're about to do eyeliner. I might be quiet while doing this section, so yeah. The next reason why a lot of people had a lot of falling out with the Fairly Odd Parents would have to be Crocker himself. I was never the biggest fan of Crocker's character to begin with. His entire purpose is more so is like, okay, he is just that teacher that has a big obsession with fairies. And we end up finding out that Timmy is part responsible for why he has an obsession with fairies, but also has to do with the fact that Crocker had fairies growing up, and you know, like once you get the fairies, you end up forgetting you had them. And he's just like wants answers. At first, Crocker being like obsessed with like fairy and like basically being like a fairy hunter, it was funny, but it got to the point where it was just like, okay, why is this the only other person Timmy is interacting with? Because we already got rid of Chester and AJ. We got rid of Chester and AJ. We got rid of Trixie. We got rid of the annoying rich kids. We got rid of pretty much everyone. Like, who's left? Literally, who is left? Because y'all barely don't want to do shit with Mr. and Mrs. Turner. Who's left at this point? And it was like, Crocker, let's find more ways for Timmy to interact with Crocker. And I'm just like, okay. I understand that Crocker has a lot of importance in this series because his entire purpose is to be hunting fairies, and you know, Cosmo and Wanda are fairies. There are times where he actually did like get them, but it just got to the point where I'm just like, okay, do we really need him to be in the show this much? Is Crocker really that important? And let's be honest, Crocker was not all that important in the beginning of the show's run. He was important, what I say, but when I say like he wasn't like the main focus, because a lot of the specials for the Fairly Odd Parents did not focus on that man. He was barely in the fucking picture for a lot of them. The specials more so focused on Timmy and the fairies and whatnot. Crocker felt more like a secondary character, I'd say. It's like, yeah, he's just a teacher that only really exists in the school setting. That is why he acts the way he does. He acts the way he does because he like had a really bad childhood growing up, yada yada yada. But it just got like really like off-putting how the show was just kept finding ways to like put Crocker in it. The show even pokes fun at how odd Crocker is, like the more it goes on, because Crocker was always like pretty like strange. He used to be pretty popular too, I'd say, but then like the more it went on, the more they just kept making him a fucking loser. So I'm just like, ooh, yeah, no. Actually, comment down below, do y'all like Crocker? Because when people talk about the Fairly Odd Parents and they talk about characters they actually enjoy, nobody really brings him up. Like, do people actually like him? But I noticed that when a lot of people were talking about their problems with the newer episodes of Fairly Odd Parents, they were saying Crocker was in them too much. I have one more reason why a lot of people have like a big falling out with the Fairly Odd Parents, and that has to do with Chloe. Chloe is somebody that I have always just been very neutral on, more so because a lot of people's like issues with Chloe were like giving like misogynistic. I don't know. It's just like the discussion that a lot of people had surrounding Chloe used to make me really uncomfortable. That's why I just kind of don't mind her all that much. Many people do. A lot of people like flat out hate her, but like I don't mind her. But then again, Chloe came at the point of the show when it was holding on to Faith and a few strands of hair. Like, the Fairly Odd Parents just needed to end when she came in because the show was already pretty much dead to begin with. Like, just cancel it at this point. And I'm pretty sure this was the point where it went to Nicktoons Network. And you know how we say that Disney XD is where Disney shows go to die? Where Nickelodeon sends their shows to die. They send them to Nicktoons Network. Like how Disney Channel sends their shows to die on Disney XD, that's where they send those. Like, that's when I knew that the Fairly Odd Parents was like actually gonna be over soon, because Nickelodeon ended up moving it from their main lineup and over there. It's like they wanted the series to keep going to make it like another SpongeBob, but it's just SpongeBob. One thing I have like always applauded the show for is that they're able to do a lot more with the character set up. The Fairly Odd Parents was very limited on the character setup. And I'm not saying that modern SpongeBob episodes are perfect. Absolutely not. Because they have a flanderization problem too just as well. But I'm just saying that because of the way SpongeBob is set up, they're not super duper limited on what they could have done with all the characters to the point where they actually needed to end or they needed to do something different with it. A talking point that I put right here, I'm going to read it word for word. It says, people have very valid criticisms about the later end of the Fairly Odd Parents, but part of that has to do with the fact that Nickelodeon refused to let the show go. But it got to a point where people were simply just talking shit about the Fairly Odd Parents because they knew the Fairly Odd Parents was notorious for its downfall, and people had so much to say about it. Because I remember, like, during the period of when the Fairly Odd Parents just kept drifting lower, 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 and lower, these were the videos, like, about animation that were getting, like, a ton of views, okay? Like, getting so many views, it was, like, kind of ridiculous. And the same thing that I see being done to the Fairly Odd Parents years ago, I see it is being done to a certain extent with Colleen Hoover's books. Because as I mentioned, like, if you're familiar with the subject of hate watching, people like to hate read Colleen Hoover's books, and they were hate watching the new movie that was based on her book called It Ends With Us. People were simply watching those Dog and Chloe Center episodes simply because they knew they were going to hate them. And people were simply reading Colleen Hoover's books knowing that they are not going to like them and they can talk shit about them on social media. Like, anytime book discussion comes up, Colleen Hoover's name comes around. I enjoy watching videos sometimes about Colleen Hoover's books. I love me a good laugh and kiki, okay? I'm not gonna sit here and act like I'm above it. But also, those are not the only type of videos that I am watching about books. Now, before I continue this, I'm actually going to read you guys a piece of this very well-written article, The Problem with the BookTok Sensation Colleen Hoover, and you'll get a grasp of why so many people have issues with her books, and then I will continue on with my commentary. Also, this just gives me time to do the eyeliner on this eye because I can't talk and do it. Since Hoover's audience is young women, she writes about toxic relationships. The young women tend to romanticize the toxicity of the relationships and think real love has to be unhealthy for them to stay together. This should not be the case, and Hoover sets a bad example for how women and men should be treated in relationships. Yes, these books are a work of fiction. However, repeatedly seeing horrible relationships can influence how young men think. Media significantly affects young people's lives, and Hoover sets unrealistic expectations of relationships. Hoover's writing is also full of poorly written cliches like overusing "just keep swimming" from the movie Finding Nemo. Her characters don't have much depth. Her books follow the same character pattern. The girl meets a guy and fall in love. The guy is a big liar. They end up together with all the loose ends tied up. When the characters go through trauma, it is discussed for a chapter and then it's never discussed in depth again. And it ends with us. Ryle's sister knows about the abuse but still engages with him, even after Lily comes to her and asks her to keep her distance. Hoover uses trauma to expand the story, but she doesn't sustainably address it. So, like, on the subject of Colleen Hoover, in my notes I wrote down that even when it comes to book videos, like here on YouTube, the ones that genuinely get a lot of views, because as I mentioned, I do watch a lot of book videos, but I have just noticed this ongoing thing that if people are not talking about Colleen Hoover, they're talking about Sarah J. Maas or Allie Hazelwood. Like, fuck, even the Laura Olympus series be getting, like, views, okay? People are less likely to watch videos if they aren't focused on like those three things right there when it comes to like books. I even say like at one period, everybody was just making a book like video about, what is her name? Alex Astor just as well. And I see she kind of faded towards the back a little bit with people talking about like books and like the authors and all that shit, but people stay coming for Colleen Hoover and Sarah J. Maas's next all the time. And trust me, I am subscribed to some booktubers, okay, black ones specifically, and they make videos outside of the books that everyone talks about, but sometimes they do talk about those books just as well, and the videos get significantly less views. That's the reason why so many of them constantly go back to reading Colleen Hoover books, because they know that they're going to get them the views. And this isn't necessarily a new thing of creators constantly making videos that they know are going to get views, because if you guys are familiar with the beauty guru era of YouTube in like the mid 2010s, yeah, everybody was making the same type of videos. Spring haul, Coachella themed fashion videos. Me going to the mall with my friends, doing this. Tags. Like, I remember tags was like a real big one too, just as well. I used to do them. It's not necessarily a new thing where people constantly do the same shit because they know it's trending. Like, even when it comes to like makeup trends and all that, you look at a lot of these makeup brands and a lot of them have the same type of shit in their store. It just be different brands. Like, I remember that thing where somebody had said something about why all these small businesses want to sell lip gloss, and I'm like, well, lip gloss sells. Like, I'm telling y'all, I have a small business, and the products that we selling the most is one, the bonnets, like the one you see on my head. This is a Yumi themed bonnet that I'm wearing. Is either them bonnets or is them lip glosses. That's the reason why they keep stocking them shits. People gotta do what they gotta do. And I wrote this down. Don't hate the player, hate the game. Like, I hate that it comes down to that, but like, don't hate the player, hate the game. And I watched a really well put together video talking about how a lot of YouTube feels the same nowadays because it feels as though everyone is making the same type of videos. Like, I'll actually have a link down below because it's actually a really well done video. I'm not throwing shade to this creator whatsoever. I really like her stuff. Very well done. But this was like during that era of like the Stanley Cups, when every single person was making a video about that damn cup and how people were literally like fighting in stores over them. I feel like we can move on now and do blush. Okay, now we are taking this CoverGirl high pigment blush. I don't be using that much of it. I started wearing blush because for some reason my makeup wasn't looking right. I think it's because I don't know how to contour. I don't know. This video is so chaotic, y'all. I'm sorry. It's not necessarily shocking to see like a lot of like bigger creators, I'd say, and even like some smaller creators too, make videos about the same topics because they genuinely know that they're going to, you know, get views. They know people are going to click on them. They got to do what they got to do to pay their bills, because guess what? This economy sucks. Our economy fucking sucks, and we are living in a day and age where a lot of people cannot take risks with the stuff that they are making. Like back then when everybody was making videos about the Fairly OddParents, they were doing it simply because they knew people were going to watch them. People are simply making videos about Colleen Hoover because they know people are going to watch them, because she has been a trending topic since 2020. It reminded me of this debate where people were talking about like their unpopular opinions when it comes to fan conventions in the artist alley, and someone said, I'm tired of seeing the same IP for when I go through the artist alley, and they were basically saying every time I go through here I only see merchandise for like Sailor Moon or Naruto or My Hero Academia or One Piece or Chainsaw Man or Jujutsu Kaisen. And I noticed I've been seeing so much stuff for that now too, just as well. And people are going to have to sell what they know is going to sell. People are having a harder time making stuff out of passion because our economy fucking sucks and people have to do what they gotta do to get views. Like in the past, I used to get really irritated with creators who would be making like videos that would like constantly be about trending topics, and they wouldn't really make videos about things that were a little lesser known, I'd say, just as well. I'm like in a position where I kind of like feel as though, like, this is just me though, I'm like in a position where I still want to make videos about lesser known things, but also I am going to have to make videos that are somewhat trendy. Like when I made my Tyler Perry video. Remember that I am a college student. I gotta eat too. But we have to create under capitalism. Like, YouTubers are people too. Because our economy just sucks so much, and a lot of people see YouTube as like a hobby, or they have to like turn it into a side hustle because they need to do it in order to help pay their bills. Because a lot of YouTubers that y'all see have another job. Like, everybody knows that like YouTube is not my only like source of income. I've been pretty open about that before just as well. It is pretty difficult to create under capitalism. I will go ahead and tell you that right now. It is hard to create under capitalism because you like want to be creative. You want to take risks and do this and this and that, do this and that and the third. But it's much harder to do that because I know a lot of artists were talking about how they're sad that they feel as though a lot of people aren't selling like original prints anymore, like original art, I'd say. And I was like, I get that, but I was like, we live in a day and age where people are more likely going to pay for something that they know about opposed to like supporting something that is like an original concept, because people just don't have that much money to spend anymore at cons. Like, it's just a sad truth. People do, ooh, I messed up, y'all, fuck. Is this the type of video where I feel like capitalism like kind of kills creativity to a certain extent? Honestly, yes, it does kill creativity to a certain extent. But also at the same time, it's just like, I feel as though people don't sit and think about what's going on the other side with these people, because I used to get irritated at one point where every like book creator was just making videos about Colleen Hoover and they weren't talking about anything else. But now I have like a better sense of understanding as to why they keep doing that, and that's just because they just have to do what they gotta do in order to like stay relevant. Because I remember when people were having discussions talking about we are all like one financial situation away from something bad happening to us, and people just constantly have to do what they got to do to make their coin. Okay, like, I actually find it very fucked up. That's how bad our economy is now. People are taking risk of reading books that they can't fucking stand and they know they're gonna hate, so they can come on the internet and talk bad about them, because they know that if they get on social media and talk highly of something that they enjoyed, it's going to get less views. You know how they say sex sells? Hate sells too, just as well. Why do y'all think the Inquirer is so popular? Why do y'all think Perez Hilton was around for so long? It's just creating under capitalism. It is a thing. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much all I got to say on this video. We're gonna finish this makeup look, but that's pretty much all I wanted to say. I do not plan to really read any like Colleen Hoover books, by the way. Like, just want to end this like on a note about how like I genuinely feel about her. I don't really plan to read any books about Colleen Hoover. I never really like cared to read her books. I saw my friends would be reading her books too, but like nothing about it just really kind of interests me, especially because I am an SA survivor and I have been told that like she does not handle the subject of SA pretty well in her books. So I know that's just gonna piss me off. That's why I just genuinely don't take the time to like go and read her stuff. But yeah, it's just something that's been on my, y'all, this eyeliner is thicker than this side. Like, y'all, I can't do makeup for shit. Okay, now I feel like I made it worse. Oh shit, that looks terrible. Ooh. Okay, we need to, you know what, we're gonna try it again. Try it again. You know what Aaliyah said, dust yourself off and try it again. You know what, I kind of don't care no more. I'm not going nowhere, so it look a mess. Kind of don't care. And now we're doing my favorite part of the makeup. We're doing the lip liner and lip gloss. The one part I actually know how to do right. See, now it's like the more I go on, I'm seeing like more issues with this. Yeah, boy, I love me a good dark like liner. I love me like a dark lip liner, and then like the lip gloss goes on top, and I'm like, yeah, that's it. That's the look. That's the look. Everything else can look a mess on my face, but this right here is always gonna look together. And done. All right, so that's that. The face is on. Yeah. Thank you so much for watching this video. This was just one that I had just some thoughts to get off my head, where I was just like, the same thing happened with Colleen Hoover happens with the Fairly OddParents years ago, and I just wanted to just discuss why this phenomenon is happening. And it's because people need to make money, and they're gonna do what they gotta do to make that shit. And that's pretty much it. I don't really have much to promote right now because I don't really have much like coming out at the moment. I do have new stuff coming out next month, and I cannot wait. The 10-year anniversary video should be out by the end of August. I want to get it done by the end of August, mainly because my channel literally was started in the summertime, so I feel like I have to get the 10-year anniversary video out during the summer. It only just feels right. But thank you guys so much for watching. I love you guys. Thank you guys so much. This is an old palette, by the way. This is old. This is before we found out they were terrible. Also, shout out to my Lizzie McGuire palette just as well. I'm about to probably just go and edit for the rest of the night. I have so much stuff that I need to, you know, get done. I'm kind of stressed out, but we're going to be okay. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great day, night, whatever time of the day you chose to watch this video. I'm just thankful that you watched it with the ads on. All right, thank you. Goodbye.
Now that you see, you should beware of the power of three. They come to fight as fast as they can. They're dangerous yet fabulous. Because of Utonium made them eschew. They are the colors of pink, green, and blue. They'll catch you in the blink of an eye and do it all before bedtime. They coming through and fighting, and everyone they're shocking. You know no one can stop them all because of the chemical acts. They coming through and coming, and everyone they're shocking. You know no one can stop them all because of the chemical acts. Will just blow your mind. Buttercup like villains 3 at a time. Bubbles will smile while kicking your butt, and Blossom will lead them out of their rut. Cherish and Powerpuff, 2 of a kind. Both wanna save the world before bedtime. From Townsville, Memphis, New York to LA, the Powerpuff Girls are just here to stay.